Hello. We're just checking to see if this is working or not. I don't see us on the Facebook page yet. Liz, can you see us on the Facebook page?
Yes, I do see us there with a bit of a delay.
Okay, because I don't see it at all on mine. While I'm waiting for this to show up, if anyone is here with us right now, could you please add to the comments and let us know who is here so that we can give you a shout out? I definitely don't see us on the iPad list.
Oh, we're there.
Okay, because it's going to be tricky because I will want to get to the comments. For sure. Okay. All right. I'm just going to give me 1 minute. Oh, there we are. All right. Hello, everyone. It is 2:00, and so I guess we should start our Tech Thursday. This is our very first one, so welcome everybody for joining us today. My name is Virginia, and we also have...
My name is Liz. I work with Virginia in Digital and Information Services.
And welcome to our live stream. And we just want to tell you on behalf of everybody in the library how much we miss you. All of you, we miss seeing your faces so much. We miss talking to everybody at the library. It is just part of like the best thing we do, at the library is seeing everybody. So we miss you a lot. And I just want to say, so what we're going to do today, I'm just waiting to see if there's any comments. Doesn't look like it for now, so that's fine. So this is 2:00. So every Thursday at 2:00, we're going to have our Tech Thursday, and we'll use this time to show you something that the library has for you to download or to use in our online resources and also an online collection. I want to give a shout out to Gloria, Katie, and Amy. They were the ones who kind of suggest this idea to us. So I want to just make sure thank you for that idea. It's a great suggestion. So we're doing this right now. And each week we're going to do a short tutorial. And today is going to be how to download eBooks using the Libby app, which would be for your phone. So if you're planning to use your phone or your tablet to download eBooks, that's what we're going to show you today. And Liz, how does this live section work in terms of our questions and comments?
Yeah, so if anybody has a question or would like to make a comment during this live session, we'd love to hear from you. So as long as you are liking or following our library's Facebook page, your comments will show up under the video. So you can just type in your comments and questions under the video. We will see them. And if it's during the live stream, then we'll do our best to address them during the live video. If you are watching a recording of this, then please still send us your questions and comments, and we will definitely get back to you on that.
Great. And if you're watching this afterwards, like if you rewatch this and you're like, oh, I have a question about something that you said or whatever, feel free to add it to the comments. We will keep track of those. We will also have online tech appointments. So if anyone wants some one-on-one help, we'll be happy to do so. So Liz and I will take care of that too. So we can answer your questions, on a one-on-one situation through Zoom. So should we start, Liz? You ready? Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to share my screen with you so you can actually see what the Libby app looks like. Like I mentioned earlier, you can download your Libby app from Google Play Store or also from the Apple Store. And if you're on a Windows 10 computer, if you go to the Windows Store, you can also use the app from the Windows 10 store. So Libby app works for all 3 different devices. And then later on in our other series, we will talk about how do you want to just read books if you don't want to download anything, or on a computer, how would that work? Or if you're looking for e-reader help. So we'll go for that. So I am going to share my screen now. So just give me one moment. All right, so I'm gonna share the screen here. Okay, so you'll probably be seeing my screen now. So I'm gonna open our Libby app. Okay, so this is how it will look like. So after you download it, and if you're looking to, when you're opening the app, the first screen you see, if you've never used it yet, then this is the first screen that you will see, which will say welcome, and it will ask you whether you have a library card. So now we know that the library is currently closed right now, the building is closed, but we have just started providing e-library card, electronic library cards to anyone who does not have a library card. So if you don't have one yet, you can fill out a form on our library, go to our library website and fill out that library card form, and staff will get back to you either through email, or if you want to give us a call, we will get back to you, and then we can get you a library card right away, and you'll be able to use all the library e-resources with the library card. So I'm going to say, yes, I do have a library card. And then the next thing they're going to ask you is what library you belong to. So I'm going to search for my library. So I'm going to click on this option here, say I will search for a library. And I am going to type in Port Moody right here. And I'm just going to make these guys a little smaller so it's not as distracting. All right, so now we've got Port Moody, and then you see that it shows up at British Columbia Library. And the reason why is that we actually share this collection with a number of libraries in the Lower Mainland, so we can have a bigger collection and have more books for you to borrow. So if you find the British Columbia Libraries, that is the right one. So I'm going to click on that right now. And then it's going to ask me, do you have a library card? And I say, yes, I already do. So I'm going to click on Port Moody Public Library here, and I'm going to enter my card number. Now, because this is a recording, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back to my face, type the number down, and then I will reshare my screen again. All right, just give me one moment. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second, and I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to go type in my library card number.
A good security tip, Virginia.
I'm going to click sign in. All right, let's try that again. All right, let's see, it's just going to wait for the sign in process to finish. Okay, so now I can go back and share my screen again. All right, so here we are again, and here is my library card entered into the Libby app. And so once I've done that, I can just click next. And it will take us to the homepage where we can start looking at what kind of books we have to borrow. So on the app itself, there's 2 main places that you can find sort of what to borrow, looking for things to borrow, and also what you have already borrowed, and look on your shelf. So we have the library down here. So on the left here, when you click on library, then you get this screen that we see right now, and that is what you can see, what kind of books you can take out from the library, what is available. So that's the library app right there. And then on this side here is the shelf. And what the shelf is that it is it shows you what you have currently borrowed. So if you're looking for books and you're like, I thought I borrowed that, but where is it? This is where you can find it, so on your shelf. You can also see a list of holds that you have. So if you have put books on the waiting list and you want to know kind of what is there, that's where the holds is. All right, so I'm going to go back to the library. So the first thing I thought we'll show you is just how to borrow a book and how to download it. And it is pretty simple and super fast. So we're going to take a look at that. So let's see. So I'm just going to search for a book right now. And so let's do Harry Potter. All right. So once you get the list of items, anything that you see that has the word borrow, meaning that it's available for borrowing right now, and you can grab it. Anything that you see placehold means that someone has already borrowed it, so you can go on the waiting list for that. And we'll go through more of that in a bit. I'm just going to find this one right here, which is Harry Potter #1. So I'm going to click on borrow, or you can also click on this little plus sign. Either one means borrow. If you're interested in, like, I mean, you probably all know about Harry Potter, but if you're interested in knowing, like, well, what this book is about, you can click on the cover. And what it would do is it will give us a little bit more of a synopsis of what the book is about. But since we already all know and we want this book, I am going to click borrow. And once you click borrow, it's going to confirm with you whether you want this book for sure. And then you can also change how long you want to borrow it. So eBooks, just like library physical books, are out for 21 days, but you can select a different time if you like. You can just take it out for 7 days, or you can take it out for 14 days. What is good to know is that eBooks are automatically returned, so you never have to worry about like due dates, and you never have like there's never late fees. It's always automatically returned at the end of your due date. It will just automatically expire, so you don't have to like think about it, which is great. But there is a way to return early if you're done reading the book, and we'll show you that in a bit. So I'm going to leave it as 21 days, and I'm going to click the big borrow button here. All right, and once I do that, you can see this little circle here is showing me that the book is now downloaded to my phone or your tablet or your computer, depending on what device you're using right now. So it's doing the downloading right now. And once you get a little check mark, that means this downloading is done and you can open the book. So when you are using the app, the downloading process will take data. So when you're downloading the book, it actually does use it needs an internet connection. But once you finish downloading and you're just reading the book, if it is already loaded on your device, then you don't have to have an internet connection to be able to read the book. So I'm going to click on open book just so you can see what it looks like as an ebook. All right, so that is Harry Potter right there. Anytime you tap on the middle of the screen on your phone or your tablet, or in this case on my computer, it will open up the menu. So then you can go back to look at more books. You can go back to the library to see what else to borrow. And there's some settings that you can adjust here. So just tap on anywhere in the middle of the book, you will bring the menu up. So that's how you can open and close the app and navigate through it. So changing pages is just like swiping. So you just have to swipe on there. So I'm going to swipe, 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 and then I'm just going to get to a page where you can kind of see what the text looks like. So there we are on the chapter 1 right now. And so with eBooks, one of the great things is that you can change some of the settings of how the words look like. So if I tap on the middle again to bring our menu back up, I can take a look at this menu here, and I'm going to tap on that. And you can actually adjust the reader settings. So you can say like, okay, well, these words are too small for me. I need to make it bigger. I like to read on like kind of like, this sepia kind of brownish look, just like a paperback, or you like the dark mode. And so you want everything, black background with white text on it. You can adjust that as needed. So that's something you can do. Or there's also a handy chapter feature. So if you're reading a nonfiction book, for example, this is a great one. So you can just jump between chapters rather than having to like flip through all the pages. Also, if we are going back here, you can see that there's also a little slider here at the bottom. And that you can also slide around. And so you can see as I'm sliding down, the pages numbers right here changes. So you can actually quickly move through the book using this little slider too. Another thing sometimes people talk about when they're reading ebooks is that they think, oh, well, I don't know where I am because, there's no page number. There's no like physical, like visual cue that I am like halfway through the book, or I am like, 3/4 through the book, or I'm near the end. It's hard to tell with an ebook, but there's actually a way. So if you click on like I said, when you bring up the menu, you can see what page number you're on. Or when you click on it, it also changes. So it tells me that I have 7 pages left in 7 pages in ebook term, 7 pages left in chapter 4. If I click on it one more, it tells me that I'm 19% through the book. So there is a way to take a look at where you are in the book if you're curious about how far you are. All right, so that is an ebook. So that's pretty much how you download an ebook and also get it onto your device to read it. So I'm going to bring back up and I'm going to go back here. And of course, anytime you close off a ebook and you're like, okay, well, how do I, when you open the app again, if you go back to your shelf, you will always find your ebook there. Anything that you have borrowed will be under your shelf. Okay. And then over here is you can open up a book again, and you can see that like every time you click on open again, you will always go back to the page that you left off. So it's automatically bookmarked for you. All right. And so we talked about earlier that all ebooks are out for 21 days. So if you're interested in returning it early, you can always do so. So what you can do is click on this Manage Loan button. So when you tap on that, it will give you some choices here. It tells us when it is due back. And again, you don't have to worry about it. It automatically returns if you don't want to think about it. But there is a way to return your book early. And why would you want to do that? So for example, if you're on a vacation and you borrow 5 books ahead of time, but you're at the hotel, you're like, oh, I finished everything already and I want to borrow more. Well, there is a limit on how many ebooks you can borrow at a time. So if you're running out of space, you want to have more space and you finish your book, or you borrow one and you didn't really quite like it and you want to get rid of it earlier, you can just tap on return early, which is what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to tap on return early. It is going to ask you, are you sure you want to return it? And you said, yes, I do want to return it. Click on return and it will be gone. And so now you can go back and find your next read, as they say. And that link basically will take you back to the library page right there. So we just went through a ebook, how to download. So I'm just going to check and see if there's any comments right now on ebooks. If you have any questions, please use the comments to let us know and we'll do our best to answer. I'm looking down on the screen, as you can see, because I'm just checking to see if there's any comments here. It doesn't look like it yet. That's great. So we'll move on, but do use that comment box and interrupt us anytime. So I'm going to go back here. So that is an ebook. Audiobook is the same process to borrow and to listen to it. So quickly we can do the Harry Potter audiobook. So same thing, I'm going to say borrow. And borrow. The only thing I would say with audiobooks is that because the files are a bit bigger, and you can see this is going to take a bit of time to download. The reason is that, of course, it's hours and hours of people reading to you. So the file size is a little bit bigger. So it does take a little bit longer to download than an ebook. Ebook is almost like instant, whereas the audiobook takes a little bit longer. But it's worth it. Like this one, for example, with the Harry Potter one, like if you've never, most of you probably have read the book, but if you haven't listened to Jim Dale's narration, he is definitely one to kind of take a look at. He is great at all the voices and all the characters in the book. So I'm gonna, while I'm downloading, I'm gonna see if we can open the audiobook here. It might tell me that I'm still downloading and it won't let me do it. But what we can do is with audiobooks very often too, you're kind of wondering like, well, it's good. Like I don't know whether I like it or not. And with audiobooks, very much, sometimes it depends on the narrator, right? Like you wanted to have a good narrator that you actually like. And so if you're looking at that, you'll be like, well, maybe I want to test it out first before I borrow. Well, there is a way. So I'm going to go back to the library here and I'm going to find an audiobook just to see, well, do I like it or not, right? So let's go and I'm going to pick one of these here, for example. And there is a way, and same with ebooks, if you want to just read a couple pages before you see whether you like it or not, you can also do so, but there is a way to read a sample. So I'm going to play a sample and see what that sounds like. So once you see this, you can just click on the play button. All right, so if you listen to a chapter or so, you'll be like, yeah, I like her voice. I don't know, or you don't like her voice, and you don't have to waste a space downloading the book, right? So that might be something that you want to check out beforehand. The other thing while we're here, remember we showed you earlier with eBooks, there's like different settings that you can do. You can change how the color of the page, or you can change the text size. In audiobook, what you can do is you can change the speed of how fast they read. So if you click on this little icon here, I don't actually know what that is, a timer, stopwatch, something. If I click on it, it will show me that now I'm at 1.25 speed. If I click on it again, it will go in 1.5 and then, or 1.75, and the narrator will start to sound like a chipmunk. So if you rather a chipmunk narrates a book for you, that is a setting that you might want to take a look at. There's also 2 times faster, so that's something that you might want to take a look. The other thing I quite like, and I think it's fun, is that this is called a sleep mode. So if you like to listen to audiobooks before you go to bed, and you want to be like, oh, well, I think I'm probably going to fall asleep in about 30 minutes, and you don't want your device to just keep playing your audiobook forever, and then you miss all the stuff, you can set a timer to have the audiobook read to you for about like 30 minutes. So that's something you can do. So that is audiobooks. So I'm going to go back. So I got a sample here. All right. So this is what downloading an audiobook and an ebook is like. So it's pretty simple, the process. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to message the library at any time. We'll be happy to answer your questions. So before we go, I thought we'll just take a quick look at some of the tips and tricks about how to search for books, because that is the most important thing, finding the right books that we want to read. So what I'm going to do here is just to show you some of the things on the library page. We're on the library side now to browse what's available. So right on the front here, we've got the search box right at the top. That's how we search for Harry Potter just now. You can do book title. So for example, Oprah just announced a couple days ago that their latest pick is called Hidden Road Valley. That is the book that she has picked. So you can see that you can search for it right there by title. Again, if you click on the cover, it will give you a little bit more information of what the book is about. And here, you can see that it's saying it's place hold, which means it is currently out right now. So what you can do is just like a normal physical book at the library, you can put it on hold. And if you want to know, well, how long do I have to wait? Well, there's a little handy calendar here that tells us that. So if I click on that, I'll tap on that here, it will tell you that right now we got 2 copies that are being used, and there are 3 people waiting. And so it will take about 4 weeks. And that's what it said. Now, that doesn't look too bad on this one because it's new. So I think people haven't found it yet. However, you might come across books that has a super long waiting list. And it might tell you that you have to wait like 6 months. Well, let me give you a little secret. The secret is that it is not actually true all the time. The numbers sometimes lie. And the reason is because whenever the Port Moody Library sees that, oh, there's a long waiting list, there's a lot of people from Port Moody who want to read this book, we do add extra copies. And those specific copies that the Port Moody Library adds are only available to Port Moody users. So remember we talked about how we share this collection with some of the other libraries in the Lower Mainland? Well, those special copies that we purchase, we don't share with them. We're not going to share. So they're only available for Port Moody users, which means even though it might tell you here that you need to take like 6 months or like 6 weeks or whatever to get your book, that may not be true. So just keep that in mind. And also I would say it's worth putting things on hold because again, if we see that the whole queue is building up, we are going to make sure that we get more copies into our collection. So that is my trick and my tip number 1 for you. Place holds and don't get scared away by the number of months or weeks that you have to wait for that. So I'm going to click out of there. So that is searching by title. So I'm going to go back to a search box right here. You can also search by author. So one of our most popular author here at the library, Louise Penny, of course. And so when you get a search results by author, you will see that it's a mixture of audiobooks and ebooks. And so the way to tell, like right now, we can see all these are ebooks. And when I get to closer to the bottom, you will see that some of the books has a little like headphones icon to it, and it will say audio underneath. And that means that is an audiobook. Right? So that's how you can tell. So by author, and you can also search by subjects. So if I say like, I want to read some fantasy. And of course, because this is a keyword search, you'll see that like books that has the word fantasy is going to show up, whether they're actually fantasy or not. But you see that up here, it also shows us, oh, like, I think you might be looking for fantasy. So it will show up right on the top there. And then when you click on it, you will actually get true fantasy rather than the ones that just happen to have the word fantasy in it. All right. So once you're in a collection that you like, you're like, okay, well, that's great. But look at this, like placehold. Oh, The Witcher is available. That's good to know. Placehold. Well, I want something to borrow right now. I'm not interested in placing hold. I just need it right now. So what can I do? Well, you can refine your search to just available stuff. And this is a really handy thing to do if you're just looking for something available. You don't care about what else is there because you can't get a hold of them anyway because they're all out. So click on the refine button right up on the top. And then over here, you can say availability. I don't want to see everything. You tap on that. It will show you that I only want to see things that are available right now. And yes, there is coming soon. And why is that? Because we do order books ahead of time. So if we know that a book is coming out and if it is available for us to borrow, to purchase, I should say, then we will buy ahead of time so that people can start placing holds on it. So just like the on order records that you see in our regular collection. So same idea here. So I'm going to say, don't show me everything, just show me what's available. And it will rearrange. So now it's only showing me things that I can borrow right now. So I don't have to look at all the stuff that is not available. And, that is because I just want something right now. Another thing that you can also do with refine. So let's just go back to, you're going to say like, oh, show me everything again. Another thing you can do with refine is put it down. This going to sort by. This is another hint that another thing that I use quite a bit because I always like to see what's new at the collection right now. I want to see what did the library just purchase, and I want to like look at those first. So instead of sorting by how popular the book is, by how many people borrowed it, I'm going to tap on that and I'm going to say, show me by either release date, so newest book that are recently published first, or I can go down right here and I can say, show me by date added. Date added is basically the date that the library has added the book to the ebook collection. So that will show us what the library just purchased. So if I do that, you can see some of the different books that's going to show up now. So it looks like they've recently bought some new fantasy books, including the new Christopher Moore book that is coming out on May 11. So if you like Christopher Moore and you want to put a hold on it first, you should do so now because it looks like we only have about one copy and nobody's waiting yet. So put it on hold and it's only saying 7 weeks because the book is not out until May 11th. But other than that, so you'll be the first one. So you can put things on hold ahead of time. All right, so that is how you can use refine. So that is a really handy thing to do. And then what we're going to do, go back just one last thing. It's almost 2:30, I see. And so one last thing is that if we go back to the library, which is go back to the main page, if you are not searching for something in particular, you're just like, I don't know what to borrow. I just want to borrow something, but I don't have any idea what to read. Well, the main page actually has a lot of suggestions and highlights, and they change all the time. So it's nice to keep track of it. So I'm going to go down and take a look. So what we have, this is like my favorite thing. I kind of go here almost every time because I like to look at what's new in the books, what's new in audiobooks, and what's popular. And the other thing, of course, is the available now. Just like how we did earlier when we refine our search to just available things, you can use this available now and just see available things right away. So you don't have to look at the other waiting list books. There's subject guide. So if you want to take a look and see, so this subject guide here that is on the page is the same as the one you see Explore up here. So you can do both. So if I click Explore, it will give me some suggestions for some of the genres, the more popular one. You can also go down here and look at subjects and look at all the different categories and genres that we have on here. So that's another option. And to help you kind of narrow down, because you can see there's like quite a lot of titles in our collection. So you don't want to look for the 40,000. You might want to use this to just narrow down to something that you like. So going back to the library here, and I am going to take a look to see what else is here. So the next thing is the just added section. So this is the same as sorting by date added. So you can see the new books that the library has added to the collection. Available now. Again, they really want you to see those and some subject suggestions. And then we have a list of express collections. So this express collection changes all the time. So the titles in there are always different. So if I tap on that, it will give me, oops, did I just tap on that one book I want to tap on? The actual title of it. This changes all the time. And what express collection is what it says here. No holds, no waiting. So these books always have copies. They're good for anyone to use. You don't have to ever to wait for it. And the title changes. So always take a look and see what's available this time. And you can see that there's a mixture of audiobooks, and there's also eBooks, and there's like 5-book bundle Game of Thrones, 21 days, 5 books, you can do it. So all sorts of other kind of things here, and all of them say borrow because they're express collection. You don't have to wait for any of them. So do take a look at that. If you're desperate for something to borrow now, this is a good collection to take a look. And then I'm going to go back up and take a look at what else do we have. And then farther down will be some of the book lists that librarians have put together for you. So for example, the Hugo nominees, they just got announced. So there's a bunch of books there. And then there's like audiobooks for the whole family. So that might be a good one for now. There's some best books lists. And there's I Can Read by Myself, some spring books. Oh, and of course, we also have books in other languages. So that's something you can check out. Right now, we are highlighting some adult books in French, or young adult books and also kids books in French. So take a look at those if you're interested. There's also another way to do that. I'm going to go all the way up on the top here. You can also limit by language. So for example, again, if I'm looking for like mystery, and then you can also use this refine again to take a look. If you just want to look at like French mystery books, you can also use the refine to narrow your search down so you can see what is there. So those are, I think, a little short tutorial on how to download ebooks. So thank you everyone for watching. I'm just going to switch back so you can see this again. I'm just going to say stop sharing my screen. And all right, so I think that's it for today. So thank you all of you. So if you're looking at the recording and if you have any questions, please leave us a comment and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Liz, is there anything you want to add to this?
Nope. Stay tuned for next week's Tech Thursday topic. And anytime you can book a tech appointment or drop us a line and get some tech help.
Great. All right. So see you all. Take care and stay safe. We'll see you next week. Bye.